good afternoon, everyone. Welcome again to our Cobol Training. This is our second session. From this point forward, we are going to discuss from chapter 4. Okay, so chapter 4 is all about coding complete Cobol programs, the procedure division. So let's deal with this chapter. This chapter is to familiarize you with methods used to access the input and the output files, how you're going to read the data from an input file, how you're going to perform simple move operations, how to write an info to the output file, okay, and execute the paragraphs from main module, return control to the main module, okay? So again, we have to review the first 3 divisions that we discussed last 2 weeks ago. What is the format of the procedure division? The statements coded in the main module of the batch programs. Again, we will not be discussing the interactive programs here. How you're going to process the batch files, how you're going to compare some files, or you have to read files. Okay, so review of comments in Cobol, the Y2K compliant date fields. Nagre-record ba to? Yeah, it's recording. Again, review of our first 3 divisions. So this time, let's have someone to discuss me about the division. Umpisahan natin kay Michael. Diyan, Michael, kasi ikaw yung ano eh. Kauna-unahan daw. Okay, can you explain or discuss something about identification division? Michael?
Identification division, ito yung nag-identify ng program.
Okay lang, sige.
Oh, like, nandun sa taas. Basically, description of the program on the program ID, author, and then ano yung ginagawa ng program system. It's
okay.
like an introduction to your program.
Okay. So let's move to the next division. So environment division, tawagin natin si Nomer. Nomer, natatandaan mo pa tong environment division? Mute, unmute. Unmute nyo na lang yung sarili nyo.
Hindi ko masyadong kabisado.
Ano lang yung natatandaan mo?
Pero basically, this is where we define our input and output files. Input and output files. Yeah, so basically that's it.
Okay, so this is for the configuration of your computer, your input-output files, correct? Okay.
Yeah.
So last week also we discussed the, di ba, daming nagpa-pop up. Data division. Can I talk with Evelyn? Evelyn, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Evelyn, so can you remember what is data division as we discussed last 2 weeks ago?
Sir, from what I remember, declaration of the variables.
Okay, very good.
As well as the records, yan.
Okay, very good. Thank you. So data division, here we declare all the file section, which is the detailed description of the input-output record. So as I mentioned last time, file section is should be an equivalent to your file control section, okay? Whatever you declare on the file control should be found in your file section, okay? And sabi nga ni Evelyn, we also have the declaration of the variables in your working storage sections, okay? So at least natatandaan pa rin naman, okay? So these variables you are going to use within your code, okay? Within your entire program. Okay, so good. Some of the programs, okay, especially if you're dealing with maintenance, or let's say meron kang using isang program, and sometimes some variables are left in the declaration in your working storage na hindi na siya ginagamit sa program mo. You should remove it, okay, para hindi magkaroon ng confusion, okay? like sa mga nagdi-debug ng mga existing code or program na Cobol. Okay? So that's a review of our first three divisions, the identification division, environment division, and data division. Okay. So now we're going to move on to the final division, which is the procedure division. Okay. So we'll go into details about this procedure division. Now, this procedure division contains instructions to read data, to process data, to produce output, or perform end of job operations. Okay. So let's move on. Paragraph. Okay, this is you can see this in your procedure division paragraph. Diba? English na English. Procedure division is divided into paragraph. Each is the independent module or routine made up of series of instruction to perform a specific set of operations. So this is an example of paragraph. Zero main, 1,000 open files. So these are all paragraph. Okay? So any question? So your procedure division is made up of the paragraph. Okay, so we have rules for the paragraph names. This is coded in area A. Still remember where is area A? Okay, let's ask Ian. Ian, nandyan ka ba?
Yes.
Yes. Remember last time we discussed area A and area B. So which is area A? Anong column number niya?
Area 8 starting sa 8.
Very good. Correct. Hanggang saan?
Hanggang na maalala.
Sige. Sino pa bang hindi ko natatanong? Si Christopher. Sige, tama yon 8. So let's ask Christopher until when?
8 hanggang walang end, sir.
Ha?
Walang end.
Walang end? Ano? Sorry?
Walang dulo, sir.
Walang dulo? What do you mean by walang dulo?
Basta may period.
The column number. Where is area A? When you do the coding for paragraph, until what
From
column you can start writing the paragraph name. Sabi ni Ian is from column 8 until when? I mean, yeah, you can, yung sasabi mong walang end and then you can put period, correct? So, but I'm saying is until when is the area A?
15?
15?
Yes, sir. Nangula.
8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, you can start
Okay, sir.
your area A, or the area A is within this column 8, 9, 10, 11. Correct? Ayan. Pag nag-code kayo, hindi ka na pwedeng mag-start sa 15 kasi mag-i-error ka. Okay? You can only start with 8, 9, 10, 11. And then area B. Yeah.
12.
From 12 to 72. Tama ba? Okay. So that's the rules. Okay? So when you want to start paragraph name, start it from coded in area A. Okay? Tama yung followed by the period. So follow the rules for forming data name except maybe all digits. So normally we make sure that the paragraph name is unique. Okay? So gumagamit tayo ng suffix to numbers or digits para mas madali natin siyang madibag or makita. Okay. Again, when you start with area A, you can continue up to area B, okay, for your paragraph name. Same for your statements. These statements are coded in area B. So as I mentioned, area B is start from column 12, okay? Then the statement begins with verb. Okay, you know what is verb? Read, move. Okay, statement begins with verb. Last statement in paragraph ends with a period. Okay, so you always put period in every statement, in every paragraph. Sentence is another series of statements ending with period. Okay, so ganun lang. So as I mentioned before, Cobol is an English-like language that you have the paragraph. Within your paragraph, you have your statements. Okay, and when you have a series of statements ending with a period, we call it as the sentence. Okay, always remember where you're going to code the paragraph name and the statements and sentences. Okay, dapat alam ninyo. Okay, which is yun ang gagawin nyo today. You're going to start coding. Okay. On the batch program instructions, okay, you can see here there's an open. Open means to open files to be processed. So you can see here on my paragraph, open files. There's an open here statement. This is to open the files to be processed. And then perform until and perform. This is a loop to continually read and process input records and write results to output file until there are no records. So you can see here an example, perform 2000 process through 2000 exit until WS end of F200 is equal to Y or WS end of F800 is equal to Y. So this is a loop, okay? If you see a code like this in a Cobol, perform until, okay? So this is a loop, okay? So ang condition niya, you can see it from the until statement. Nakita nyo? Okay, so once it reached this condition, F200 means end of file of F200 and end of file of F800, you will end the process or you will end this paragraph loop, okay? To close files when done processing. So in Cobol, if you are dealing with files, you open the file first, and then if you after you open the files and then you did the process, then you go to 9000 close. Okay, 9000 close here. Pansinin nyo, we have these close files. Okay, close means to close files when done processing. So you cannot process a file when it is closed. That's why you have to open it first. Okay? So after you are done with the process of the files, you have to close the file. It's very important to close. And then if you want to end the program, this is the statement you have to issue, stop run. This is to end the program. Any question? May tanong? Clear? Clear ba tayo rito? These are just some of the statements, okay? You can use within your batch program. Ah, yun dyan na si Mark. Hello, Mark. Medyo nakaka-start pa lang naman namin. So, nakahabol ka. Now, let's move to the open statements. So, nasa procedure division tayo ngayon. No? So, we will be discussing some of the statements to be used within your procedure division. Open statement means accesses and makes files available for processing. Identifies whether files will be used for input or output. So this is an example of open statement. See from here, right? I have an open input, I have an open IO, and then open output. Ano ibig sabihin nun? If you declare the file as an input, input lang yan, okay? You just have to read the file. If you want the file to be read and write, you make sure to state an IO, okay? If you think that the file is only for output, then just use an output. Clear? So tayo yung nag-declare what access we wanted for these files. We wanted it to be an input, an IO, or an output. Clear? Okay. So clear naman. As mentioned, so this is the format. You have to use the statement open and then input or output. This file name 1, okay, itong file name na to, itong napapansin nyo na F200, this is based on my file control. This one, okay? Whatever you declare on the file control, this should be your file names in your open input, output. Okay? Any question? So, pansinin nyo, how many files I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay? In my open statement, I declare 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 4 input files, correct? I have 1 input output file, and I have 3 output files. So basically, input is normally sequential or a VSOM file, and then output ko, input-output ko is a VSOM file, and then my output is sequential file and report file. Okay? Naintindihan? Okay, so pag nagbasa kayo ng Cobol, make sure, oh, where is this coming from? This is from your file control. Okay? So, importante ang file control. You cannot put here any files that is not found in your file control. Mag-error yan. Okay, let's move to the, nasabi ko na yan. Perform until end. Okay. As mentioned, perform until end perform is repeatedly execute statements between the perform until and perform until condition specified is until clause is met. Okay? So makakita kayo niyan sa program nyo sa batch like this. Okay? So it's a loop. Okay. So hindi ko na to, skip ko na to ha. So I just, you know this already. Read. Okay, let's move to the read statement. Okay, this is an example of a read statement. Okay, read statement is to read records from file open for input and transfers record to input storage area. Makes one record available at a time, not entire table. Okay, or not entire file. So reading is per record. Okay, that's why we need this as a loop. So pansinin nyo sa 2100, if you want to process the whole file, let's go to the process. Within this 2000 process, right? Okay, this is a loop. We put a loop in this 2000 paragraph, remember? Okay? Lagi itong gagawin until it reached the end of file of the two files. Okay, based on our sample program, we have two files. Now, pansinin nyo dito, we have this every process, you are reading files. Okay? Pag tinawag nyo itong 2100, it will only read one record at a time. Okay? So, any question? Basta't alam niyo read statement is to read record from the file. Okay. Now, this is the format. You have to read the file name. Again, what is the file name? This is the one that you declare on your open statement. Okay? And the condition for you to set is to end the file is this. Read file at end, move y to your variable end of file tag. Okay? So, kapag na-reach niya na yung end, at end, take note of it. Okay? So, magsiset na siya ng y sa yung end of file flag. This is how we put end of file flag sa ating, how we make sure that we reach the end of file. Okay? Any question? Wala naman. Okay. Next, if no more records, alam nyo na yan. Simple perform. Okay, we can also have the simple perform. Kasi niya, this is a simple perform. Wala akong loop dito kasi nga, the 2000 process is the one that was making the loop, right? So looking at this is a simple perform. Gagawin ko lang ang 2100 until 2100 exit. That's it. Okay? This is to execute instructions in a separate paragraph or module one time. Transfer control to name paragraph and executes all instructions in paragraph. So, gagawin niya lang lahat ng statements ko sa paragraph na ito. Okay, clear? Okay. So, slide 24. We have this out of line perform. So yung kanina nakita nyo na perform until this is out of line perform. Ito pala yun. Perform until nasa na yung sample natin. Perform until. Yeah. Okay? This is out of line. Just to give you an idea what is inline, simple perform, out of line, inline perform. Okay. Perform, inline perform is within your paragraph. Hindi ko lang kung may sample dito. Uh, I don't think I have. So I think this one. This is an example of inline perform. Okay. This is an example of inline perform. It repeats the statements until condition is met, and the statements to be executed are inline, not in a separate paragraph. So you can see from here, right? This is what we call an inline perform. I'm doing this condition until this condition is met. I'm not calling any paragraph within my perform, okay? So I'm just repeating the statements until the condition is met. So for example, this one, this is initializing, correct? So if I have my group of variables that I want to initialize, I can use my inline perform statement. Any question? You just have to provide your what is your variable, where you're going to start, okay? I think it will discuss in the previous, in the next slides, okay? This is an example of the inline perform. Any question? Okay. Inline perform, end of job. Okay, close. As I mentioned, right, when you open the files, you need to close. Close is to open to close the files. It indicates files that you are no longer needed for processing, and it releases the files and deactivates devices. Okay, you can use this. You can close multiple files, or you can close single. You can use single close or multiple close. Single close is you close all files at one time, or you can have a multiple close, okay, statements for each file. Okay, it will work. Both of them will work. Stop run, this is to terminate the program. So I'm just giving you some of the important statements, no? Importante yan. Because if you did not put the stop run, how you're going to terminate the program? How you're going to end the program? So lagi lang yung magkagamit ng memory as it's running, okay, at the background. So make sure you put the stop run in every code that you are dealing with your program. Okay, this is to terminate the program. Usually the last instruction in the main module. Okay. So I just put, this is an example wherein you put the stop run at the 9,000 close routine. Okay, after you close all the files, and then you put some display as your control totals. Okay, if you want to put some control totals in your program, you can do it, and then stop run. This will end your program. Pag na-hit niya na tong statement na ito, then your program will end. Any question? Okay. And then, okay, I just kept this interactive. Move. Okay, this is, we now going to the move statement. You might say that this is very simple, but there's a lot of rules in move. Okay? So, sabi ko nga, no, dito is matitest tayo in terms of what should be moved. The format for the move, if I have to go to a sample move, yeah, this one is an example of move. Move identifier 1 to identifier 2. What does it mean? It copies the contents of identifier 1 to your identifier 2. Yun lang. Simple as that. Okay? So for example, although my identifier 1 is literal, when you say literal, I have enclosed with colon, single quotation, sorry. Yeah, single quotation. This is the literal value to my identifier 2. Okay? So do we have something that is not literal? Most of them are. Okay, this is an example of non-literal move. I'm using so take note of this ruling for the move statement. Okay, so again, move is very simple. You just copy the contents of identifier 1 to your identifier 2. Okay, now right. As I mentioned, English word, right? Right, do you have a right here? Control F. Not here, close. Okay, so rewrite lang yata meron dito. Oh, we have a right here. So good thing meron kayong ganitong sample program that I have given you, so you can refer to this sample code for you to understand what is this statement all about, okay? So write means transmit data from output record area to associated file on device specified. Now, record name is 01 level name following FD for a file open for output. Read file name, write record name. Okay, so you have to understand what you are going to read and what you are going to write, okay? Remember, when you have the read statement, we read the file name, okay? But for writing, we are writing to a record name. So, importante itong maintindihan nyo, okay? Write. This is an example of a record name. Okay, this is coming from your WS variable blockline. So this is an example of a write statement. Always remember, when you are writing to a record name. Any question? So don't use the file name when you do the write, okay? Use the record name. So you still remember what is this data organization? Last time when we discussed, we have the what? File, record, and fields, right? So for what is a field? Okay, this is a group of characters. Okay, or a field is a that has this what do you call it? Ito yung the field is composed of characters, and then the record is composed of different fields to make it as a one record. Okay, and then a file is composed of records. So hopefully you can still remember this organization, right? Okay, so this is write statement. You write to a record name. As discussed, we put the asterisk or comments in your column 7. Okay? Oh, matatapos na tayo dito sa chapter 4. Okay. So the chapter summary for this chapter 4. Okay, so we understand what is the perform until statement. Okay. What is a read statement? Okay. What else? We also discussed the paragraph names that is coded in area A and end with a period. Okay, and then the procedure division are coded in statements, sorry, are coded in area B. Again, area A is from columns 8, 9, 10, 11, and then area B is columns 12. Okay, you can start your paragraph in area A and then your statements in your area B. Okay, so that's the end of our chapter 4. So, any question about chapter 4? Wala pa naman. Okay. Okay, so I will just show you your exercise for today. For our this actually having that understanding on 1, 2, 3, 4 chapters, you can start doing the Cobol coding actually. But with regards to other rules, like what are the ruling for move, yun yung pag-aaralan natin for the next chapters. Okay. So chapter 5, let me just open this. Tagal siya mag-open. So let me open your exercise if I already have it here. Okay, extra 1. Oh, excited na ba kayo gumawa ng code ng Cobol? So you can see this exercise. Okay, but I need to discuss what is this. How you're going to. Okay. Ano lang, you can start first, think of how you're going to analyze first the requirement. Okay, this will be your exercise for today. So for today, we will be dealing files, okay? So later on, I will show you how to create the file, how you're going to create record on the file. So again, for your exercise 1, this will be your requirement. Okay, you will be dealing with customer file and transaction file. Okay, so this is the requirement. You have an input, which is the F070, and input output, which is the K010. Your output will be another, this will be like a report file. Yeah. So you will be creating a report file and then some error file. Okay. So what is the requirement? You have to process all the records from transaction file F07T. Okay. What is in my F07T file? Okay, this is my transaction file. For each record, I have a customer ID. I have this amount transaction. I have the NAM item code and my item description. So basically, this is like an example of customer transaction records. Okay, so you will be processing all the records in your transaction file. Okay, so that is your first requirement. How you're going to process the records? You have to match the NAM customer ID. So on my second requirement, all matching NAM customer ID from F070 to your K070. So I have another customer file here, which is, I think it's K010. I'm sorry. K010. Ayusin ko lang. Okay, you have to match your transaction against your customer file. Okay, what you're going to do is, for every match customer ID, you have to update the amount customer balance, which is here on your K file, K010. I mean, you have a customer balance here. You have to update, okay, based on the amount transaction. This is my amount transaction on my transaction file, okay? Of course, you have to add and subtract. It depends, okay? So most likely this is like a subtraction to your amount customer balance. I purchased something, I have to make sure that my balance has been deducted, okay? And then after you match, you will create a report file that is in this format. Okay, this will be your format on your report file. This is my heading 1, okay, showing my report company, or this is maybe the title of my report, ABC Customer Transaction Report. This is the date. You have to make sure that you are putting the correct date. Okay, this is a daily transaction. And from your report, you should have your next heading about what is to be shown on the report. Okay, I have here serial number. Okay, it depends on the match records, huh? So I might have, let's say for example, my customer file has 100 records, but for my transaction file, I only have 10 records. Okay, so I should only have 10 output transaction here. Okay, based on the match customer ID. Okay, I'll just put on my report the customer ID, the customer name, the limit, the balance, and the amount trans and the item. Okay, where do I get the customer ID? Of course, this is from your transaction file. Okay, customer name. Saan ko makukuha ang customer name? This is from my customer file. I remember on my customer file, I have my last name. I have my first name. Okay, but in my customer name, I will format it in such I will display the last name first, followed by comma, and then my first name. Okay? The limit will be coming from my customer file. Say I have a limit of 15,000. And then the balance is based on the updated balance. Okay? So if I have before, let's say, if I have 13,700 before, if I have an amount trust that is 800, so mababawasan yung balance ko. This should be the updated balance, huh? Then amount trust is whatever on my amount transaction file. And then the item is based on my transaction. What is my item description? Okay, this is just a simple kasi wala pa naman masyadong dito, but the thing about this is you have to count the number of total transactions and the total amount transaction. So this is the amount. Okay? So yun lang naman ang simple computation niya. Any question? Wala kayong tanong? Kailangan nyo pang i-discuss ko yung chapter 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Correct? Okay, but for you, whatever you understand, hindi ko pa naman kailangan nyo pa naman patakbuhin yan, okay? So you just start your coding using your mainframe express. So as I mentioned, you should have your mainframe express already, right? So just start the coding, how you're going to start. You have your sample code. So isi-send ko dito sa Skype yung exercise nyo. Okay? Later on, I will continue my discussion. Siguro start coding for a while. Let's have some break from 2:15 to 2:45. 2:45, I will continue discussing the next chapters. Any question? Wala. O sige. I'll be sending now the file. So understand the requirement first. Okay, don't worry. After the training, you will be receiving your certificate that you have completed this Cobol training. So until next week. So yun yung inyong magiging remembrance, what you call it, yeah, your reward when you complete this training. Of course, I have to see your output as well, that that you can able to code Cobol programs. Okay, so are you ready now to start the coding? I am sure na kaya nyo na magsimula with the sample code I have given you. So you just leave first yung mga hindi nyo pa alam. Okay? So, yung alam nyo lang yung i-code nyo. Eh baka nga yung division lang yung alam nyo. Division name lang, no? As in talagang skeleton lang siya. Okay? So again, understand, basically, basic lang tong program na to. You just have to read the transaction file, match with your master file or customer file. Once you found a match, you flash it on your report file, okay? Sabi ko sa inyo, yung write natin is per line, then so you have to create your own sample dito. Meron ditong sample na header, how you're going to display the header, right? And report file, or the error file, sorry, hindi ko pala nasabi rito. Any unmatched, you should write on an error file, okay? I did not put yet the layout of the error file, but most likely, later on, I will show you what is the error file look like. Okay, maybe this is not found. Think of things that can be an error. Okay, na malalag dito sa error file nyo. Okay, it could be file is not found or file record error, or it could be a record error per se. For example, record is not found. You should write in the error file. Okay. So later I will give you some sample format for the error file. Okay, so for the meantime, wala muna yan. Siguro okay lang din naman kahit wala muna tayong error file. Okay? So ang importante lang today is mapagana ninyo na nagbabasa ako ng transaction file, minamatch ko sa customer file. If I found match, I will output it to a report. Kasi simple as that. Yun yung requirement natin today. Okay, so let's have this. Nasend ko na sa inyo yung exercise 1. Modify na lang natin yan for your next exercise. But do it first. So, pwede kayong gumawa ng mga skeleton muna ng division and paragraph nyo. Okay? So, follow. Pwede nyo maging reference yung Visam batch. Okay? So, at 2:45, okay, hindi nyo pa rin mapapagana, of course. You will still learning from the next chapter. Okay? Let's have a break for a while and then we continue at around 2:45 p.m. Are you ready to start? Basta yung pagkukode ka. Tapos na? Very good. Okay, so let's continue on. So siguro as we discuss the next chapters, medyo magkakaroon na kayo ng linaw sa pagko-code. Okay, so let's start chapter 5. Okay, chapter 5 is designing and debugging the batch COBOL program. Okay, so how you are going to make some design strategy. So that last week we discussed about how you're going to develop the development process, right? So first is analysis, then we move to design, then before coding. Okay, so with this chapter, how you're going to design the structured programs, how you're going to create your pseudocode, hierarchy, or structure charts, some logical control structures, and some good programming techniques. And interactive, as said, so we will be skip this. What makes a well-designed program? Designing programs before coding, of course, logical control structures using pseudocode, hierarchy charts or for top-down programming, and how you're going to name modules or paragraph, and how you're going to modularize your program. Okay, some review of the coding guidelines. Okay, so let's move to this slide 6. Well-designed programs. This is when you use planning tool to map the program logic. So when you have a well-designed program, you will be seeing the logic errors in your code and to determine how all instructions interrelate. Okay. As mentioned, you have to do a structured programming wherein this is one of the well-designed program kapag structured siya. Okay, wherein you use instruction executed in a standardized order. You divide the program into modules, each performing a specific function. And control returns to place module code from. Okay, simple perform using Cobol to execute module paragraphs. Again, well-designed programs are using top-down approach wherein you code the modules in a hierarchical order. Main modules first, then secondary modules with detailed code and stepwise refinement. They're also modular, wherein group related statements together into modules. That's why when you create your own paragraph, make sure that your paragraph is doing what should be your paragraph is, correct? For example, if it's print report, make sure that this paragraph is doing all the necessary statements, sentences for you to in order to create or print the report. Okay, so make sure you have to group the related statements together into your modules. Okay, execute each module or paragraph in Cobol with simple perform. Yeah, that's it. For example, statements to calculate the student's tuition in one module, then statements to calculate room and board in another module. So you can do that. Okay, so designing before coding. So kanina nagko-code kayo, right? Did you design your did you design first before you code, or you just go straight to the coding? Okay, design program first. So program will work efficiently. So program works as integrated whole and design techniques applicable to all languages. Okay, code program only after the design done. So you can use the syntax rules of language, and the syntax rules are language specific. Okay, what are the design tools that we are using for coding or before coding? We are using one is the Pseudocode. Pseudocode is a primary tool for planning program logic. Okay, specifies instructions and logical control structures used by program. Use one or more lines of pseudocode to describe each program step. Okay, so we have 4 logical control structures. This is used by structured programs to specify order in which instructions are executed. So we have sequence, selection, iteration, and case structure. If we talk about sequence, this is an instructions executed in order they appear. Sequence, simple as that. For example, we have here 3 instructions that have to be executed one after the other. Okay, for example, this is my sequence. I have this start, and then read amount 1, amount 2. After I read the amount 1, amount 2, I do the compute statement, which is compute total is equal to amount 1 plus amount 2, and then write total. So this is an example of logical control structures. You do it by sequence, okay? You execute one after the other the statement. Now, selection, okay? Instructions executed depending on existence of a condition. So code if then else logical control structure. So one example for selection is the if then else, okay? So this is an example of selection structure pseudocode. So for example, I have here if condition, then instructions to do if condition exists. Else, instructions to do if condition doesn't exist, and if. So example, if x is less than y, then add x to y. Else, subtract x from y, and if. So you see, this is an example of selection, right? If my condition for my if statement is true, then I will do my statement here, add x to y. If it's false, then I will go to my next statement, which is subtract x from y. So we call it a selection structure. Clear? Okay, so we move on to the third one, iteration. This is to specify repeated execution of series of steps. So this is a loop. Okay, use inline or standard perform until for iteration in Cobol. Both execute group of instructions repeatedly until a condition is met. So you can use iteration for your logical control structures. Okay, this is an example. Inline perform until. Perform until condition, the statements to be repeated, and then you have your end perform. And then you go to the next statements following the perform statement. Okay, so we have the inline. We have the standard perform until, which is as I shown you on the program. Okay, so just take note of the infinite loops. Okay, this is one of the problem mostly of some programmer about the infinite loop. Okay, inline and standard perform until both repeat instruction until condition is met. If condition never met, then the loop never ends and causes error called an infinite loop. So for programmers, you know this. So for those non-programmers, we take note of this infinite loop. So you have to make sure that when you do the perform until, the condition should be met. Yun yung lagi yung iti-test. Baka hindi ma-met yung condition, then it will cause you to a loop that never ends. Okay? Ayun na, sinabi ko na. Okay? So make sure you have your condition met in your in your looping. Okay, last is the case structure. So again, first we have, ano yung una natin? Sequence. Next is the selection. Third is the iteration. And fourth is the case structure. To choose from one of the several sets of instructions depending on the conditions. For example, assume different instructions should be executed when field code in has values of 1, 2, or 3. Any other value of code in is considered an error. So this is an example of a case structure. We're using an evaluate statement here. Mali pang spelling. Evaluate. Yeah. Evaluate statement will be like this. Evaluate code in. Code in is your variable. When, we use the when code in value is 1, we perform paragraph 1. When 2, perform paragraph 2. When 3, perform paragraph 3. When other, perform error paragraph, or what do you want to do with the other value. Okay, and then end evaluate. So normally you can see it from your program. Let me try if I have it here. Evaluate. Okay, I have here. So I think kanina, example, when you do the heading, right? Okay, so I evaluate if my date month is like this. Okay, maybe this is just checking what quarter I am in, right? So correct, yeah. So this is an example of a case structure statement in your coding. You can put it in your pseudocode as well. You are evaluating the month, okay? When my month is 1 to 3, then it's a first quarter, right? If my month is 4 to 6, then it's a second quarter. If my month is 7 to 9, then it's a third quarter. Then if it's other, then it will be my fourth quarter. So this is one example of a case structure. Okay. Okay, so after the pseudocode, you can also use an hierarchy charts. This is to illustrate top-down relationship among modules, graphic method to divide program into modules, modules shown as rectangular boxes, and relationships among modules represented by connected lines. So this is an example of a hierarchy chart. What does it mean? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. So letters A to H, okay, A to H, ang sabi, represent the modules or the paragraph. A is the main module. B and C are subordinate modules called from main paragraph with a perform. D and E represent modules called from paragraph B. So see, if you have this hierarchy chart, from here you can see that I have my main. In my main, I'm calling paragraph B and paragraph C. Sample, okay? And then from here, I have my paragraph B calling paragraph D and E. So for me, I know how to debug my code, correct? So if I want to see my paragraph E, how it was being called, so from the hierarchy chart, I should know that, oh, it's coming from, it's called in my paragraph B, and then B is coming from paragraph A. So you should know where to put your paragraph, right? So good for us to have this as well if you want to have a hierarchy chart. Any question? This is for you to easily debug or see what is the how your paragraph is being called within your program. Okay. So pseudocode and hierarchy chart. Pseudocode shows the actual sequence of the instructions. Hierarchy charts, it shows relationship among the modules. Okay, it will help to develop efficient programs and debug and modify programs. Clear? So I think now John Michael is doing this as well. So he's trying to figure out how the paragraph is being called from the program, right? So hopefully you all know how to handle this reading of Cobol codes. Again, some ruling for your naming of paragraph. Again, when you name your paragraph, it's 30 characters, letters, digits, and hyphen. Choose the meaningful name that describes the type of instructions in the module. Normally, we use some numeric prefixes to indicate relative location of a module in a program. So for example, so normally if you want to have a paragraph name, right? So normally we start with main. So from here, you know what is the summary of your program from your main paragraph. From main paragraph, I have this opening of files, and then I process after I open the files, right? Then after my processing, then I just end, close. That's it. So from here, I can see the summary of my program, what it's doing, correct? So this is how you're going to name the paragraph. Make sure it's meaningful. If you said open, of course, it should be an open. Okay? Although there's some additional like initialization and getting the current date is okay, as long as it has to do with the with your open files. Okay, so that's how you're going to name your paragraph. Of course, when you go to your process, this is the how you're going to process the input for you to have the output. So dapat alam nyo i-structure yung inyong process. Correct? Okay. So next, coding guidelines review. Code each clause on a separate line. Program easier to read. Okay. Easier to isolate errors since compiler identifiers errors by line. Okay. Indent clauses. So importante rin dito ang mga indention. That's a good thing for you to know about the indention because, for example, within this if and if, I have my indention for this statements, correct? So, kailangan nyo rin siyang i-practice. That's all. Scope terminators, again, this is, for example, I have my if and if. This is my scope terminators, okay? Period is my scope terminators. Do we have an perform? Okay, and perform is my scope terminator. You always have to put some scope terminators. Importante yun, okay? Para malaman niyo that my statement is has terminators or end, okay? Put some period, okay, or end statements. Nagkakaproblema minsan kapag wala kayong mga scope terminators because how do you say, for the if and if, right, this is one of things that you have to bear in mind when you want to put the scope terminators. Baka kasi you cannot see like when to end that certain if condition, so importante yan, okay? Okay, I skip syntax errors. We discussed this before, right? Before you run your code, you are doing some compilation. So from there, you can see some syntax errors. So you have to correct before the program can be executed. Syntax errors is, for example, mali yung syntax mo, okay? Move and then wala kang to statements. So it's a syntax error as well, okay? So alam nyo dapat yung mga syntax on every statement, every sentences that you form within your Cobol code. Logical errors, yeah. As I mentioned, you cannot check this during compilation, okay? This is detected during the execution of your program, okay? How do you see that you have a logical error? For example, I have here a 1000, perform 1000 open files through 1000 exit. Okay, there's some errors like, for example, perform 1000 through 2000. Say I wrongly put 2000 exit. Okay, is it logical error or syntax error? 2000 exits will cannot be detected during your syntax errors kasi nag-exist yung paragraph name na yan. Okay, so magiging logical error yan in a sense na, oops, gagawin niya yung until hindi ako matatapos dito, gagawin ko pa rin to. That's how Cobol works. Okay? So, mga ganon. So, make sure what is your statements is 1000, right? Okay. So, what else? Or maybe you put wrong perform statement here. You did never perform to read the other file. So, that could be your logical error. Or so for some computations as well, okay? If you code wrong computation formula, so it will give you some logical error. So just make sure that tama yung ginawa nyo. Okay? That you have coded the order of instructions, okay, correctly. That you will see it from your output. If my output is correct, then good. You have your good logic coding. But if not, okay, so based on the output, dun mo malalaman yung logical error mo. Okay? So of course, we wanted to have zero bug. Kung mas magandang walang problema yung code mo, mas maganda. But of course, we cannot promise it. Sometimes you will hit an error when it's in the production, running in production, even if you test a series of testing, okay? Okay, so but we wanted to have free bug program, di ba? So wala talagang bug. Okay, so syntax errors can be severe, intermediate, or minor. So it depends. So you know what is severe? Error must be corrected to complete the program compilation. So if you think that your program needs attention to fix it as urgent as possible, so it's severe in a sense that it will halt or stop some business process, etc. So it's a severe, okay? Intermediate, compiler makes assumptions about how to correct error and continues, okay? Somehow when you do the compilation, so may mga warning pa dyan, so you can still run the program, but you make sure there's no warning at all, okay? So gusto natin na hindi sasabog yung program natin sa production. Minor is a compilation can be completed, but there may still be logic error. So, ano man yan, mapa-severe, intermediate, minor, we have to deal and to fix it. Okay? So, how you're going to identify the errors? Yeah, nasabi ko na, errors may be caused by line above, one indicated by compiler. So sometimes the program or the compiler will point you to this line of code, okay, but most likely the error would be before that line of code. Okay, you have to think of that. You have to check on that. Okay, so it could have generate multiple error message. Okay, usually what are the common syntax errors? Misspelling, okay, wrong spelling, wrong. Okay, so English na nga ito, magkakamali ka pa ng spelling, you have to check your spelling, your grammar, not grammar, okay, the spelling itself. Defining the employee file in select entry, but using employee file in FD, so this is wrong. Okay, you have to ensure that what you use, what you define on the, what I mentioned, right? What you define in your file control should be in your FD or in your file section. Okay, defining amount one in data division, but referring to it as an amount one elsewhere. So you have to see on this. Okay, iba yung ginamit mong variable, hindi yan naka-declare sa yung mga working variables, but you're using different variable names. So be careful. Okay, using same data name more than once, so all file record names must be unique. So some uniqueness we need to follow. You need to follow as well kung ano yung kailangan mo. Is it a field name you need? Is it a record name you need? Is it the file name you need? Okay, so be careful on the naming for the names as well. Okay, program name, paragraph name must be unique. Using reserved word for user identity. Alam na natin yan before when we discuss how you're going to define the user-defined words. So one of it is not to use the reserved word. Okay. Using non-numeric field in arithmetic operation. Okay, so make sure that you are correctly using the data type when you are doing arithmetic statement. Okay, omitting the scope terminators. Okay, using letter O instead of 0. So what does that mean? Okay. So you should know what you are using, okay? Runtime. First, make sure all syntax errors fix. Runtime error stops program or causes the program interrupt. Must be corrected before execution can continue. Ayan na. Some of the common runtime is when you are performing arithmetic operations with field containing non-numeric characters. Incorrect name, path, or device name for input file in assigned clause. Okay? There's no way provided to stop the perform until loop. So ito yung mga runtime error natin. For PC users, filing to define file as organization is line sequential. Okay. Perform until loop executed one too few or one too many times. And then your scope terminator not in a correct location. You don't know where to put the period. Okay. Okay. So of course, for your testing wise, you have to complete your test data. You have to prepare your test data, and then you have to ensure that all conditions is being met when you're doing the testing. And you have to ensure as well if it did not meet the condition, so what will happen. So it depends on your testing. Okay. Again, when you run the program, you have to make sure that it is aligned in your requirement, okay, in your design as well. What will be the output? Just like what I mentioned you to do today, right? You have to create a report file. So make sure you have a report, okay? So dapat alam natin yung mga gagawin natin. What else? Okay, that's the end of our chapter 5. So basically, we just studied about the logical control structures like sequence, okay, the selection or the if then else, iteration using perform until loop, case structure using the evaluate structure or case structure. Okay, we also learned from this chapter the planning tools like Pseudocode. You know what is Pseudocode, right? It's an English-like statements just to know the step-by-step process of your code. And then the hierarchy charts is the connection, the relationship between the paragraph within your code. Okay, so how you're going to make sure that you have a well-designed program. You use some structured programming techniques. You do the modularized organization, a top-down approach, meaningful field and paragraph names, one clause per line. You have some indentation as well on your statements. Okay, so I think that's the end of our chapter 5. Save. So any question for chapter 5? Nga naman. So after chapter 6, maybe we can have some like tea break. Chapter 6. Chapter 6 is more of like how you're going to move the data, how you're going to print the information and display the output. Okay? So most likely you can just listen to this. Baka andito yung mga statements for you to how you're going to move the data. Okay? So this is to familiarize you with the options of move statement, the rules, yung sabi ko kanina, how you're going to move the fields, the literals, how you print the edited symbols, and how you're going to design and print the report. So you have to take note on this. You have to listen on this chapter 6. Okay, from this chapter, there are instructions that are for you to move the statement. How you're going to format the move statement, using how you're going to do some numeric move, non-numeric move, other options of the move statement, how you're going to produce the printed output, okay, and how you're going to display the output as well. So this is your move statement format. Again, you move the identifier 1 to identifier 2. What does that mean? You copies the contents of the identifier 1 to identifier 2. Identifier 1 is a sending field. Identifier 2 is a receiving field. So take note, sending and receiving. Okay, example, move quantity in to quantity out. The contents of the quantity out is replaced by the contents of the quantity in. If quantity in is equal to 253, the contents of the quantity out will be 253 after the move executed. So quantity in remains unchanged. Okay, move statement about literal. Move literal 1 to identifier 2. This is an example. Are we going to move the literal copy to identifier 2? Make sure that the data type of the literal and identifier should match. You have to move numeric literals to numeric fields. Move non-numeric literals to alphanumeric fields. That's why it's very important for us to know what is this variables or identifier or receiving field that we are using in our move statement. Okay, for example, I have a quantity out which is pick 999. What does it mean? It's a numeric 3 bytes, and I have a color out which is pick x4. If you want to move for the quantity out, okay, it should be a numeric, right? For example, move 100 to quantity out. This will be a good example of a move statement for a numeric. How about for non-numeric, okay, or alphanumeric? We have this quote, single quote, for you to move the non-numeric value. For example, move blue to color out. Okay? So clear on this? Make sure you know what is the picture clause of your receiving fields. And you have to correctly pass, okay, what is the correct data type as well, or the value itself as well. If it's numeric, then strictly move numeric. If it's non-numeric, you have to make sure you have to put a single quote. Any question? Okay, kung wala na. So again, this is the format as well. Okay. See from this, right? I can move multiple. Okay, sorry. I can move identifier or literal 1 to a multiple receiving field. So pwede yan. The contents of all 3 fields will be set to 0 for the example. Move 0 to total 1, total 2, total 3. This is most likely like initialization, right? So you can see from the program, if we have some initialization here. Oh. Initialize. Okay. Although this one is using initialize, right? Not using the move. Okay. Oh, ito pala. Sample ito. Yeah. Okay. So this is an example of moving value, okay, to a multiple receiving fields. We call it multiple moves. You can do it in Cobol. Okay? Make sure that total 1, total 2, total 3 are all numeric fields. Yun lang. Or alphanumeric can, because alphanumeric can accept numeric and non-numeric. Okay? So are you going to move figurative constants? So this is an example na, nasabi ko na. You can move zeros, you can move spaces for alpha numeric field. Any question? Clear tayo dito? Okay. So numeric move. Numeric field or literal is moved to a numeric receiving field. Yes, my question?
Yung pag-move ng multiple or sa multiple receiver.
Aha.
Kapag multiple lines, nawawala na yung comma.
Ito, for example, this one, right? I can do it this way, pero pag gusto ko siyang single line, I can put spaces. Pwede yan. Pwede to. Okay, for example, pwede rin tong, kahit walang comma, pwede. As long may space in between. Kunyari, WS, IDX.
So not necessary comma ang symbol na ganito.
Oh, pwede rin yan. Gumagana yan.
Okay.
So, pag naglagay ka na ng period dito, this will be a problem. Kasi for example, I have a multiple moves and I put period here, magsi-syntax error ka na. Okay? Kasi this is the end of my statement. So, nawalan na yung ito is something error yan. Syntax error yan sa code mo. Okay? So, picture of the code. You can put comma if you want. Walang problema. Okay? Walang problema sa ganyan.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So again, you can move figurative constants, ha? You can move literal as well. So for that is, make sure lang na tama yung mga fields nyo. Okay, for what else? Ano pa yung mga conditions natin? Okay, alam nyo na yan. Nasabi ko na to. Decimal alignment. Okay, always maintains. For example, if 86.52 is moved to a field, okay? Ito yung mga kailangan nyo i-take note. 86 always treated as an integer, and the 0.52 is always treated as the decimal part of the number. Digits in integer part move right to left, starting at the decimal point. And digits in decimal part move left to right, starting at the decimal point. Okay? So, ito yung misang nagiging problem talaga natin if the formatting itself, the picture clause is something that is wrong. Okay? But for this example, move amount 1 to amount 2. My amount 1 is picture 99V99. Amount 2 is 99V99 as well. So there's no problem with this because I am having the same picture clause. So what does it mean? Digits in each part move so that 2 replaces 7, 1 replaces 6. So for example, I have a current value for my amount 2 that is 67.89. Okay? If I move my value for amount 1 that is 12.34, so 2, ang sabi dito, 2 replaces the 7 and 1 replaces the 6. Okay? So digits in decimal part move so that 3 replaces the 8 and 4 replaces the 9. So this is how you're going to see or you will figure out how the numeric move example. Okay? So after move, the contents of amount 2 will be 1234. Okay? Next, if receiving field has more integer, ito yung may nagtanong dito, I think last time, when my receiving is more, okay? So what is the rules? If receiving field has more integer positions than sending field, and field high order, leftmost integer position will be filled with zeros. If receiving field has more decimal positions than sending field, and field low order, decimal positions filled with zeros. Okay, for example, ito yung my move amount 3 to amount 4. Amount 3 is only pick 9V9. My amount 4 is pick 99V99. Okay, so the digits in integer part move so that 3 replaces 6 and 0 replaces 5. Okay? So digits in decimal part move so that 4 replaces 7. This 4 replaces the 7. And then 0 replaces 8. Kasi mas malaki yung ating receiving field. So after move, the contents of amount 4 will be 0, 3, 4, 0. Any question? So, yun ang mangyayari. Kapag pag malaki yung receiving field mo, so it will become, nasaan yun? 03, implied decimal 40. Okay, clear? Ay, sorry. Now, on the other way, okay, which is, if receiving field has fewer integer positions than sending field, what happens? High order, leftmost digits truncated. If receiving field has fewer decimal positions than sending field, again, low order, rightmost digits truncated. So example, I have move amount 5 to amount 6. Okay? My amount 5 is 99V99. My amount 6 is 9V99. So mas maliit yung aking receiving field. So what will happen? Digits in integer part move so that 2 replaces 5. Okay? And 1 will not be moved. It will be truncated. Okay? Digits in decimal parts move so that 3 replaces 6 and 4 is not moved. So, anong mangyayari sa output? It will become 2.3. Okay? So, ganun ang magiging problema. That's why you have to check first my move statement. Okay? Will this be truncated? Will this be as is? Okay? Will be this correct? Because if my data declaration, my data type declaration, my picture clause is wrong, okay, this will be the problem. Instead of moving 12.34, it will become 2.3. It's very, very wrong, correct? So, yun ang kailangan ninyo. Walang problema sa mas malaki. Mas magkakaproblema kayo pag mas maliit yung fewer yung receiving fields nyo. Any question? This one is not syntax error, okay? Because you have this move amount 5 to amount 6 is completely a good syntax, right? Magkaka-problema yan in terms of your, we're talking about your logical, what you call it, process. So baka magka-problema kapag dating sa computation or etc. Okay? So that is about numeric. So be careful about numeric, about the receiving and the sending field, okay? Be sure that your receiving field is as much as bigger than your sending field. Okay, so if we move on to the next, yes.
Same din yan sa whole integer, no?
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
Kapag nag-declare ka ng PIC99 na dalawa at ito ay isa lang, that will be the problem.
Same thing na.
Yes, correct.
Okay. So logical siya.
Correct. It's a good example that it should be bigger. Okay? Pwedeng PIC99, i-move mo sa PIC9999, tatlong 9. It's okay. Magiging 0 lang yung isa. Sa very first niya. Okay?
Okay.
Non-numeric move.
May tanong din ako. Paano kung nag-move ka ng whole number tapos yung receiver is may decimal?
Magiging 0 lang yon, right?
Yung decimal point 0 lang.
Paano
pag decimal yung...
Meron lang. So, makakat yung mo. Wala kang whole number.
So,
kasi we're still looking at what is your receiving field, right? Whatever your receiving field is, kung wala siyang whole number, wala talaga. Okay? So, point something lang siya. Kung nag-declare ka ng ganun, kunyari, tinanggal mo yung 9, V99 lang, right? So, 0.6 lang siya. Parang ganun. Sorry, 0.3 lang siya. So, lagi nyo i-check yun, yung ano yung magiging, kaya importante yung sa Cobol actually, when you are writing a Cobol code. Okay? Now, non-numeric then. So sending field is alphanumeric field or non-numeric literal. Receiving field is alphanumeric. So rules. Characters move from left to right naman. If receiving field longer, low order, positions replaced with spaces. So kanina 0, now is spaces. If receiving field is shorter, low order characters in sending field truncated. Okay? So ito example, I move code 1 to code 2. Code 1, picture clause is speak x3. Okay? 3 characters. But my code 2 is speak x6. Currently, my code 2 has a value of MNOPQR, but my code 1 is ABC. So if I want to move my code 1 to code 2, so what will happen? Characters ABC replace M and O. Okay? So remaining 3 spaces in code 2 replace with blanks. So that will be the output. Okay? So look at this sample, ha? So minumove ko yung ABC, i-replace yung anong rules natin dito? Left to right naman. Okay? Left to right. Yun yung kanyang ma-overwrite lang siya, left to right. Okay? The remaining 3 will be spaces. Okay, what if this is my sending is longer than my receiving? For example, code 3 to code 4. Code 3 is pick x5 and then my code 4 is pick x3. What will happen? Okay, so the contents of code 3 is the VWXYZ. What will happen if I move it to code 4? Characters VWX replaces EFG. Y and Z are not moved since all positions in code 4 are filled. Okay, clear? So, matatrancate na yung YZ nyo. YZ. Okay? So, yan ang pagkakaiba ng numeric at saka non-numeric. Okay? Right to left yung numeric. Non-numeric is left to right. Ayun na yun. Okay, group moves. When receiving field is a group item, alphanumeric move rules followed. If subfields are numeric, invalid data may be stored in subfields. So we can also see here an example. I have a group which is my 0WS code is a group item. Remember the group in the, the elementary, right? So my group item WS code has an elementary item of WS part 1 and WS part 2. Take note of this. My WS code, this is an alphanumeric. Okay? Ganyan yan pag binasa ko yan. Within my WS code, it is subdivided to WS part 1, which is my first 2 bytes is alphanumeric. My second 2 bytes is a numeric. Okay? If I move A, B, C, D, this is literal move, right? Because I have a code. To WS code, this is also possible. Okay? I can do this. After move, value of WS part 1 will become AB. WS part 2 will become CD. Okay, what will happen? It causes an error if WS part 2 is used in arithmetic operation. Magkakaroon tayo ng problema. Kaya ito yung sasabi ko sa inyo na you have to be careful about your move as well. You have to see if it's a group item, if it's an elementary item. Okay? In this way, this one will not give you a syntax error. No. This is correct because this is 4 characters. My WS code is alphanumeric with 4 characters. Okay? It's just that I have an elementary item. Okay? So, yung sabi rito, it will cause an error if your WS part 2 will be used for your arithmetic operation. Why? Because your, saan na tayo? Part 2 will become CD. Okay? So, avoid using sending field with different data type than receiving field. Move numeric fields, numeric literals, or zeros to numeric fields. Move alphanumeric fields, non-numeric literals, zeros, or spaces to your alphanumeric fields. Okay? So, I think that's for the move. I will skip this. Okay, editing functions. Report item, elementary item that contains edit symbols in its pick clause. Editing occurs when elementary item moved to a report item. Pick clause of report item determines editing performed. So, dito na tayo papasok sa mga editing symbols natin. Now, remember last time when we discussed about the implied decimal points, we put V, okay? It will not print. Okay, move field with V in picture to report item field with actual decimal point for printing or displaying, which is yun yung gagawin nyo sa report, right? You have to show me the period. Okay, for the decimal point to display, okay, this is an example. My in amount, okay, looking at this, move in amount to out amount. In my field in amount, it is declared at 99V99, okay? The contents is 1, 2, 3, 4, so the position is 4. But for my out amount, I declare as a pick 99 period or 0.99. Okay, the contents will be 12.34. Now this time, you see my positions or my count of characters is 5. Okay, if I move in amount to out amount, my output will be like this, 1234. So the actual decimal point replaces implied 1 and uses a storage position. Okay? So now pwede na tayo magkaroon ng ganitong picture clause if you want to display the decimal point. Okay. Zeros. Ano ako? Okay. Suppressing leading zero. Zeros is in leftmost position of number, usually suppressed. The value of number not affected. Example, 00025 and 25 have the same value. Okay, if you want to improve the readability, you will be using some edit symbols like Z. In picture clause, which means it suppresses the leading zeros, replaces with blanks. Okay, example. If you want to suppress the leading zeros, you have to use the Z for each position where leading zero should be replaced by blank. Example, in quantity. This is my picture clause, pick 999. My out quantity is pick ZZZ, okay? So if I move the in quantity 018, okay? If I use a ZZZ, ano mangyayari sa out ko? It will become, yung B na yan means denotes blank or space, okay? So, example, 018 will become 18 if you see it out on the display or say, for example, in the report, okay? So 003, if you're using pick ZZ, what will happen? It will suppress the zeros in front. So it will be showing as 3. Okay, but if your zeros is not on the front, like this one, 100, this one will not suppress the 0, okay? Because Z means suppressing leading zeros. So as is, whatever is your 100 is, when you out it, it will become 100. So 100 is no leading zero, so 0 is not suppressed. If I have a 00, then my output will be spaces. Any question? Wala pa. Okay. So again, so you have here a Z to suppress the leading zeros. Now, to suppress only some leading zeros, use these and 9s in same report item. Okay? I have here example. Z's must precede 9. So this is a combination of edit symbols and your data type. For example, my in quantity is pick 999. My out quantity is pick ZZ9. What does it mean? I'll just suppress 2 leading zeros. Okay? For example, 003, my output will become 3 only. Spaces na yung first 2 bytes. And then if my in is tatlong 0, what will be my output? 2 spaces and then 1 0 because of my 9. Any question? Naintindihan? Okay, so you can use this combination when you want to suppress leading zeros and at the same time you want to remain some numeric in your output if you want to still get the 0 as one of your output. Now, zero suppression and decimal. Zeros to right of decimal point are significant, so they are not suppressed. So what if I have decimal output? Okay, so again, I show you my your exercise, correct? This is your exercise. You see there's an amount there, okay? May na may decimal siya, okay? So again, you have to do this way. Pick you can use this PICCZ.99. Okay, your in cost, if you want to move your PIC99 V99, okay, your out cost will be like this, PICZZ99. What will happen? So again, Z means to suppress the leading zeros. If I have 0508, okay, I will only suppress this first leading zeros. The decimal part will not be suppressed. Okay, because this. Okay, so
Sir.
ito yung anong tanong?
Paki-elaborate yung bakit sa in, gamit natin yung V, pero sa out, yung dot.
Because we wanted it to out in our report with that. Okay. Because normally sa mga files, for example, this one, right? Ito, pansinin nyo, I have in my input.
Okay, total nandiyan na rin tayo. Ano yung S pala?
Signed.
Sign.
Yeah, I could have a negative, positive output or negative. Yeah, it could be my my amount transaction is negative or positive. Okay?
Okay.
Ito negative or positive. So makikita yun sa mga ano. So basically, if I will look at my file, later on kasi hindi ko pa nakikita pa paano mag-create ng file, di ba? This one, you can see for example, 0508. Yan yung laman ng amount trans mo. Correct? Ay, this is 5. So 5, like for example, 0.
Yeah, okay na. So sa output, para lang lumitaw sa report yung dot, no?
Correct. It's for
ginagawa nating literal na.
Yeah, that's why we call it as an edit symbol. Edit symbol din yan.
Explicit yung dot.
Okay. Same with this.
Okay.
So dito mas marami na kayong makikitang mga dito, what do you call it? Yung mga editing symbols natin. Okay?
Thank you.
So if you want to display with dot like this in the report, then put a dot. Okay? If you want to suppress the leading zeros, then put a Z. Okay? Now, we move on to other editing symbols. We have dollars. We have signs. We have comma. Okay. So, this is how we do it. Dollar and comma often used in picture clause with Z and decimal points. So, comma suppress if only zeros precedes it. So, this time, gumamit na tayo ng ganito. Okay, dinagdagan na natin yung ating Z at saka period ng dollar sign and comma. Okay? So, if my in-cost picture clause is PIC94V99, it means I have 102740. The last 2 bytes is my decimal point. First 4 bytes is my numeric, is my whole number, correct? So, if I move these 102740 in my out cost, this will be the output. Clear? So, gumagamit na tayo ngayon ng mga dollar signs, comma, okay, additional to our Z and period. Pag ganito ang laman ng...
Sir. Pwede lang natin gamitin ng mga yan pang out?
Yes. Yes. Normally, ginagamit
So,
for report.
Di ba may mga programs na interactive wherein pwede mag-input yung user?
Yes.
So, hindi pwede yung mga yan?
Hindi siya ginagamit. That's for output.
Direct lang na.
Yes, correct. Ikaw na mismo. That is for online screen, right?
Formatting lang.
If format mo yung screen mo with dollar sign, with comma. Okay.
Or display lang.
Correct. This is for basically used for displaying. Kasi
Okay.
minsan nag-input ka ng numeric lang, right? Or say for example 100 pero wala. Kasi minsan ginagawa naman ng iba sa mga kung may online screen pa rin tayo na ginagamit. So basically that is dealing with the map. In the map itself, dini-default na nila yung dollar sign doon. 'Di ba? Nakikita mo pag kung may mga online screen pa tayo sa HDB, may makikita ka doon may mga dollar sign na. Okay? For the user, you just have to input the number. Okay? So or mayroong mga instance then they allow to input dollar but you have to handle it in your program na. Ikaw na yung mag-unstring, ikaw na yung mag-handle na ilan ang numeric, ilan ang decimal point. Okay?
Okay.
So, another
sa
side of
input
story.
lang.
Correct. So this is more of an output. Yung nakikita nyo ngayon. So hindi ko nilagay dito maglagay ng dollar, no? So pwede yan, i-edit nyo na lang pag sinabi kong lagyan na lang ng dollar. Okay, anyway. So dinidiscuss pa lang naman natin yung ibang editing symbols. Okay? So again, if you pass a 005106, what will be the output? Okay, if you're using this $Z, ZZZ.99, ano magiging itsura nito? It is aligned in a sense that ang sabi ng Z is to suppress the leading zeros, right? So you can see from here that I have a dollar sign here, then I have my space 51.06. That will be the output. Hindi magkadikit yung dollar mo sa 51. Okay? Clear? Clear tayo dyan? So, isosuppress na lang yan yung mga zeros mo ng space. Okay. We also use an asterisk. Okay, this is, di ba, misa pa man naglalagin or something, may pinapakita kayong mga amount na hindi nyo gustong ipakita. Okay? You are using an asterisk. This is to check, this is a check protection symbol. Use in place of Z to replace leading zeros with asterisk instead of space. Prevents the blanks from being filled in with numbers to change amount of check. Okay? So, you can use an asterisk as well. For example, this one, yeah. If you want to display, if you don't want to display the whole amount, okay, put an asterisk, okay, on that. So you have an example. Ito, mga example. Ayan, may mga example naman na tayo. Okay? I have your WS check amount, pick 94V99, and my output is pick dollar asterisk, comma, asterisk 0.99. Okay? So, since ito ay walang zero, so lahat i-display niya. Okay? So, if this is 0, then gagawin nyo lang asterisk yun. And the rest is the same. Okay? Instead of Z, asterisk yung gagamitin nyo naman. Okay? Now, what if that is with plus or minus? Okay, we also use this pick clause with nines in assigned field. Okay, and we use an S with nines in pick clause of sending field to define the sign field. Okay, for example, I have here pick S93. Ito yung tanong kanina ni Nomer. It will store negative 425. Kasi kasama sa count yung S sign. So pag ito binilang ko, pick S95V99, this, how many bytes? I have 1 plus 5, 6, and then I have 2, 7. This is all, 7 bytes. Okay? So, ganyan tayo magbilang ng, importante yan kasi nakadepende dyan kung ilang characters yan. Di yan katulad ng Java. Ang Java is may long integer ba? Mayroong something, ganon? Integer. Nakalimutan ko na yung mga declaration sa Java. Okay, so take note of the sign field. Okay, it will give you negative or positive. Okay, report item field must include plus or not minus editing symbol to print or display a sign. Okay, so this time, if you want to display the plus or minus sign, you use the minus to display the minus sign and then plus to display the positive. Okay, ganun lang naman kasimple yan. Example, ayan, ito is mga sample. Okay. Assume that picture of S93 for WS amounts. Okay, this is my WS amount. And then my output is, let's say for example, I have an out amount that is negative ZZZ, ZZZ negative, plus. Pag ganito yung mga picture ng out amount ko, what will be the content? For example, I want to move a negative 007. So it will be displayed as negative 7 space. Kasi ZZ yan. So, suppress lang yung space. So, negative space 7. Now, if I move a positive 218 to a ZZZZ negative, so what will happen? It will become 218 and then dahil to ay positive, so we will not be displaying the positive, okay, because it uses a negative sign, so magiging space lang yon. If you want to display a positive sign, you use a positive sign. For example, 82. Okay, as a positive. So it will display as positive space 82. Okay. What if I have this as dollar sign ZZ plus? Okay. So if I move a negative, okay. So kung nasaan yung negative at saka positive sign nyo, doon magdi-display yung negative positive sign. Okay. So negative space 30 then negative. Any question? Clear naman, no? O nagugutom na kayo? Ilan na lang ba to? Mga nasa kalagitnaan pa lang pala tayo. Debit credit. Okay, so if you deal with debit credit naman, lagyan nyo lang siya ng CRDB. Okay? So, for example, credit, negative. Okay? If this is DB, and then kapag credit, so pansinin nyo kapag positive, walang lumalabas na credit debit. So, it will only appear for your negative. Okay? Okay, now spaces, zeros, or slashes. You can use B for space or blank, zero, or slash. Maybe inserted in report item, pick a separator. Used to edit either non-numeric or numeric fields. Okay, example, this one. So, pansinin nyo, no, dumadami na yung picture clause natin. Nagkakaroon na siya ng mga 9 and B and X. Okay? So, ano ibig sabihin nito? If my report item is picture clause is 99BB9, if I move 5 to 8, it will display as 5 to space 8. Okay? 218. If I move 218 to a picture clause 9999, comma 00, so it will become 218, comma 00, or 218,000. If my content is Ray and I move to an XBXBX, so anong sabi ng B? B is a blank, right? Here, space or blank, okay? So magiging ano yan? R space A space Y. Okay? If I put X slash X slash X, so it will become J slash A slash N. That will be my output for my report item. So you can use P for space or blank, 0, or slash. You can insert it in your report item as your separator. Okay. Now, editing and arithmetic operations. Editing performed when sending field moved to a report item. The result of arithmetic operations stored a report item. Okay. Picture of report item determines the type of editing. Okay. All items used in arithmetic operation must be numeric. Be careful kasi you might be using, just be careful. What is being used for the arithmetic operation? Make sure it's a numeric, not edited one, okay? We use the edited symbols for our output, okay? Like report. Error if report item using calculation of result, okay? So, make sure lang na ang ginagamit nyo for computations ay numeric. That's it. Okay. So you can use to place $, plus, or minus directly preceding first significant digit. For example, 00516 becomes $5.6 instead of space 516. What do you mean by that? In edit string, replace all these with floating characters $, plus, or minus. It suppresses the leading zeros or the comma. Comma ba? Comma. Okay, example. This one. Yan. Okay, I want to display the $ sign, the positive sign, and the negative sign just before the numeric, okay, instead of the spaces. So I can use this way. Okay, instead of Z, I use $. Instead of Z, I use positive. Or instead of Z, I use negative. Any question? Any question? Okay. Wala. Okay, so editing with floating strings done. Blank when zero option. Okay, so from here, we take a break 5 minutes. Yung mga gustong mag-toilet at bago tayo mag-continue dito sa slide 50. Okay, are you back? Nandiyan pa ba kayo? Isang oras na lang. So, hindi ko na naman matatapos yung ibang chapter. Agad. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Nandiyan pa ba kayo? Okay, for Evelyn, I think you can
Sir.
to install your tawag dito, the software, install nyo lang. Anyway, this is ano naman, lecture lang. So anyway, you can just listen first. Then for you to apply what you have learned, of course, you do it in your coding. Okay? So yung binigay kong exercise sa inyo, gawin nyo yan. You have a 1 week to do it. So most likely, matatakal naman natin yung mga kailangan nyo for your coding. Okay? I'm not sure na ko yung pag-create pala ng file. Then mamaya siguro before, I'll check before 5 p.m., we see how you're going to create your own file. Okay? So, as we continue, dito tayo natapos sa slide 51, right? Okay, blanks when zero option. To print the spaces when sending field is all zeros rather than $.00 or -0 for the report item, quantity outpick plus blank when zero. So ano lang naman to, it says that 0.35 will print as positive 35. If it's 0, then it will become spaces. Okay, you can do it in your, when you want to have this condition in your variable declaration in your working variables. Okay. Defining print records. What is this? Okay. Okay, write from statement. So this is an important in a sense that how you're going to write. Okay. So in your report, write from statement is to transfer the data from storage to print area and then print. Replaces move and write. So write, as I mentioned, write what you are using for your write statement. You're using the record name. Okay. Write record name, which is print rec, from heading 1 instead of, you can do it this way. There are two options. You can directly use this statement, write print rec from heading 1, or you can use two statements, move and write. This one is no problem. Move heading 1 to print rec and then write print rec. Okay? So it's like this one is a combination of these two statements. Advancing means to use single spacing for write is default. Okay, use after or before advancing to obtain any number of blank lines between each print line. Okay, for example, this is an example of a write with advancing. I don't know if you have it here. Write. Right. Parang puro write lang yata siya. Do you have an advancing? Hindi siya gumamit ng advancing. Okay? So basically, this is an example of format. Right? Record name 1 from identifier 1 after or before advancing how many lines? For example, this is a sample. Meron pa itong sample. Oh, this one. Write print rec from heading 1 line after advancing. But this is a page. Okay? Pero pwede yung 1 line. Nasa na yun? This one. So ano ibig sabihin nitong write print rec from heading line 1 before advancing 2 lines? Heading line 1 printed first, then spaces 2 lines. So yun ang ibig sabihin yan. Results in overprinting if first line already contains printed output. Okay, as a rule, use either before or after. Yung una yata is before. Wala ba? Oh, after. After pa rin siya. So, ibig sabihin, pag nakakita kayo ng ganito, print rec from heading 1 after advancing 2 lines causes paper to advance 2 lines. Heading 1 line printed on the second line. Okay? Creates double spacing or 1 blank line followed by printed line. Okay? So, yun yung after and then before. Okay? So, yung iba dito sa sample program natin is wala siyang gumamit. Hindi siya gumamit ng ganon. Okay? Anyway, you can use this for your, if you want to make it double line or single line, use the before or after advancing. Okay? Page as well. Okay, dito naman sa requirement nyo, wala pa naman, di kayo nag-advance to next page. So, maybe on the next report. So, if you want to advance to the next page, meron kayong checking kung kailan nyo siya i-advance to the next page. For example, you wanted to print how many records in a file. For example, 10 records lang. Then, if you hit the 10 records, then you advance to next page. So, you can do this. Para lang meron kayong breaking page break. Printing of page numbers, meron ba yung sa sample code nyo? Sa requirements nyo, wala pa, no? It's up to you. You just initialize the page number, okay? You set the page number. Okay, assessing date of run, dito gagamit kayo ng reserve. Okay, this is an old presentation. So, ang gagamitin nyo for you to get the date from here is the current date. Diba meron sa report nyo na i-display nyo yung date like this? You can do this. Move function current date to WS date. Okay? Kasi yung accept date na yan is only 6 digit. Okay? So, I suggest you use the function current date to get your date. Okay? So, this is an example where you're going to use that to display on the report. This one, this date. Okay? So, ang gagawin nyo, i-format nyo lang siya like this, string, to make it to make it formatted as whatever format date you want to display. For example, in your exercise have to display as dd/mmccyy. Okay? Where am I? Okay, so I'll just skip this because this is an old style of getting your date. Printing of okay, this is the one I'm saying. Okay, so we have the new intrinsic, we call it as intrinsic function, current date. We have a lot of functions actually. So one example is the current date. Okay, so this is a statement for you to get the current date. Move function current date to, of course, your variable is WS date. WS date is how many bytes? This is with no slash, so this is 8 bytes. Okay. Report design. Okay, for your report design guidelines, you have to include heading to identify the report, include the date, page number, include column headings as what is in your requirement. You have to place most significant fields where they are most visible, and then edit numeric fields for readability. Okay, we include totals at the end of the page of the report, which is an example sa exercise nyo. Okay, this is your control totals actually. Okay, use an asterisk if you want to identify the level of total. Okay, include page footing. So dito wala pa akong mga binigyan naman ng mga footings. Okay, so continuous lang yan. Continuous output lang yan. Hindi ko pa binibreak yung report nyo. Okay, accept. Screen. Okay, I skipped that. Okay, so this is the end of our chapter 6, correct? So from here, we understand how to use or how to use the move statement and understand the rules for numeric move. Okay, for non-numeric move as well. So again, numeric, decimal alignment maintained. The integer and the decimal portion digits move from decimal point out. Non-filled high or low order positions replaced with zeros. Truncation of high or low order digits occurs if receiving field is not large enough. Now for our non-numeric rules, movement from left to right, low order and filled positions replaced with spaces, and the low order characters truncated if receiving field not large enough. The format of the receiving field determines the type of move operations. Okay, and the rules for the printing output. So we use printer spacing chart to determine print positions to be used. We define the all printed output in working storage so value can be used. Okay, and then we use appropriate editing symbols in the report items. Write statement, again, you move the records to print in a file. Okay, and as mentioned, right, you can use the statement move the record to your record name first and then write record name, or you can directly write record name from any variables you want. Okay, so again, we can have a we can write before or after advancing just to control the spacing between lines. Okay, you can use after advancing page to go to beginning of the next page. Okay, so that's the end of our chapter 6. I save. May binago ba ako nun? Any question? So clear tayo sa numeric move at saka non-numeric move, ah? Okay, that is our chapter 6. Chapter 7, let's move fast. Okay, chapter 7 is about computations, okay? Which is magagamit nyo rin to sa inyong gagawing program, right? How you're going to compute in Cobol, the arithmetic verbs and the intrinsic functions. Okay, this chapter will help you familiarize on the ways in which arithmetic may be performed in Cobol. What are the formats and the options available with arithmetic verbs? Okay, what are the basic arithmetic verbs, the options available with arithmetic verbs, the compute statement, the signed numbers in arithmetic operations, and some intrinsic functions. Okay, in Cobol, we have basic arithmetic verbs: add, subtract, multiply, and divide. So, sino ang di nakakaalam nito? All require fields operated on to have a numeric feature clause and contains numeric data when statement executed. Okay, add two statements. So, the format is add, identifier 1 or literal 1 to identifier 2. So, identifier 1 or literal 1 is added to identifier 2. The result will be stored in your identifier 2. Okay, example. Add x assumes x, y, and z are numeric fields. Example, x is 5, y is 3, and z is 7. If I have this add statement, add x to y, which is x is 5, my y is 3. If I do this statement, add x to y, my result will be 8. Okay? 5 plus 3, okay, my y will become 8. Question? Wala. What if I want to move this, I want to have this statement, add x comma 9 to y. Ano ibig sabihin nun? Add x, which is 5, okay, to y. Okay? 5 plus 3 is 8. Then add 9. How much is my y is 8, correct? So that is 9. 9 plus 8 is 17. Okay? Add x 6, y to z. Okay. Add x 5. Ang hirap mag-simulate, no? 21 ba to? Paki-check. 5 plus z is 7. 7 is, so the z will become 11. Okay? 6 plus 11 is 17. Tama ba? 6 plus 11, 17. Bakit mali? Ano ba nangyari ito? 5 and 6, 11 plus 3 is 14. Ah, okay. This is before you add to z. So you add this first. Anyway, I am not using this. Just to skip from this, right? You can do this. This adds to add giving statement where, yeah. You can read from here. Although may mga gumagamit pa rin naman yan. Control Z. Add X, Y, giving Z. Okay? Add giving statement. Add statement. Okay, you can read on this. Normally, ginagamit tong add subtract sa mga pag mag-ano tayo ng mga counters. But we also have here the compute statement. Mag-skip na ako ha. Yeah, you can use the compute statement. This is the general arithmetic statements using symbols in place of arithmetic verbs. Although arithmetics you can still use. Walang problema doon. But if you are dealing with some complex statement, you can use compute. How to use the compute is compute identifier is equal to your arithmetic expression, literal or identifier 2. Identifier 2 left of equal sign set to value of arithmetic expression, literal or identifier on right of equal sign. So you can use this one. So ito na yung pinaka parang mas ginagamit in terms of computation. But you can still here see some add statement, yung mga arithmetic verbs natin. Okay, normally ginagamit natin siya if we want to check the counter. This one. Kasi ninyo. Okay. Diyan natin ginagamit yung mga arithmetic verbs. We have a subtract. Madaling-madali lang naman yung add, subtract. Hindi siya ginamit. Compute. Okay. Normally, ito na yung ginagamit natin. If we want to compute, we're not using some arithmetic verbs. Okay? So, you can use this compute statement. Okay? So, madali lang naman yan. So, if you want to add or subtract, gamitin nyo na yung mga symbols natin. Okay? Hindi ko alam kung meron tong hierarchy. Yeah, okay. Just follow this order of evaluation. For example, if you have some medyo complex na computation, arithmetic expression may include any combination of the symbols plus, minus, asterisk, slash, or this double asterisk. Double asterisk, all exponentiation perform first. So following the hierarchy, right? Same level yung ang tawag dito, multiplication and division. Okay? So in order of appearance, left to right. Now, for example, itong mga to nakikita mo, this I'm using three variables here, three what do you call it? I'm using date CCYY versus CYY and then another literal. Okay? So from here, gagawin niyo muna to and then sa kanya i-minus 1. Okay? So make sure you know what is the appearance of your arithmetic expression, okay? And then the open and close parentheses overrides the rules 1 to 3. All operations in a parenthesis will be performed first. Okay? So just to skip the other slides. Okay, in your computation, you can use rounded. Okay? Do we have a sample? Okay, some intrinsic function like function square root. So if you want to use this function, you can use. But for your, wala naman gagamitin. Ito, some additional intrinsic functions nito. Okay, so just if you want to still go through dito sa mga arithmetic verbs na to, okay, just read on your own. Okay. Subtract, yan. Meron din tayong ganyan, subtract. Kasi nga, like for example, subtract A from C, subtract B, 5 from C, subtract A from A. Sinong gusto gumamit pa nito? Or you can just go directly to your compute statement. Right? Okay. So, yun lang naman. So, intrinsic functions additional ay yun na yun. Okay. Any question on arithmetic verbs and computations? So sa report nyo naman is like additional lang yung gagawin nyo. Malamang doon you can use the arithmetic verb add. Okay? Kasi kailangan ko nang i-open yung paano kayo mag-create ng file. Kailangan na. Okay, ano pa ba?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, yun lang naman sa may arithmetic. You can just read it and then use the complete statement. So, I'll just show you kung paano mag-create ng file. How to use, meron kayo nito, right? Yung how to use mainframe express. Maybe I shall end for this chapter on this session, chapter 7. Kulang yung time. How to use mainframe express. Nabasa nyo na ba to? Hindi pa. Okay, as a review.
Konting browse, sir.
Okay. Once you have installed your Windows XP in your VirtualBox and then you already installed your mainframe express, just open it. Okay. If you want to create your new project, click on the new and then just create the new project. Okay? Sino nakagawa nito? Wala pa? So, sa kanina, di ba, pinagawa ko kayo. So, you should follow this instruction if you want to create a new project. Click it. And then, if you have your project already, then you can create your file, okay, or your source file. Save it as your Cobol code, okay. And then this one is the JCL. I discussed it last time, how to create your JCL. Okay, let's move to creation of files. Okay, go to. Always check your files through your project files. Okay, I will go from here. Batch program needs dataset for input data and output data. To allocate dataset, go to tool menu, catalog, and then allocate dataset. So that's what we'll be doing today. Okay, so follow lang natin tong documentation. So as I said, I will go to my VirtualBox para makita nyo na rin yung ako na pag-create. Uminom ako ng juice, no? Nag-start na ba? I-click start. Kasi kailangan nyo to for your testing dun sa ginagawa nyong code. Okay? We'll be creating files. Ayan. What happened to my screen? Bakit gray?
Sir, pa-send ng file.
Saan? Ito how to use? Dito kasi saan. Sige. Lang. So far, you learned something today? Hopefully.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Nasaan yung Skype? Nawala. Nasaan ba ako?
Nasa loob ka pa ng virtual.
Nasa loob ako ng virtual? Ano yung Skype? Wala kayo nitong how to use mainframe? Parang may sinad ako na Google Drive ko. Hanapin ko ha.
Meron sa email.
Yeah, andun lang yun. Pasukin nyo lang yung Google Drive. Nandun dun yun.
Auto install lang yata yun dun.
Parang nilagay ko din yan. Skype.
Ano?
How to use mainframe.
Walang how to use mainframe. Yan nga, how to use mainframe. Sige, send ko din dito. Saan yung Skype? Na-close ko ba? Bagal. Okay, later I will send. Dito mo tayo sa demo na paano mag-create ng file sa saan na yun? XP. Yeah. Okay, so as a review lang, no? So from there, you have your mainframe express. Ay, sinenda pala ni Mama. Thank you. So, what is this? Okay, click OK. Remember last time I have created a project, so I'll just open the project. That is this the project? Open project. I think this one, or project. Anong create ko? ICPEP? I forgot what is the project. Project 101? I think ICPEP, right? We check the files. Okay, so this is the one that we created last time. A project, and we started with the hello Cobol, I have a GCL. Okay, this time around we'll be creating files. So ang sabi sa ating documentation, okay, following this, first we create the master or the customer file, correct? Okay. Ang customer file natin, if I open this, okay, importante sa ating malaman kung gaano kalaki yung ating file. So this time, magko-compute tayo. Or nilagay ko na rito? Wala pa, no? Wala ko nilagay ko na yun. Okay, first thing is from the scratch, bibilangin natin lahat kung ilan tong customer file record natin. This is 5 plus 20 plus 20 plus 3. Next is sama yung signed. Diba? 6. S9, 5 is 6, 7, 8. Plus 8. The other one is 8. 64. Kasi gusto ko this will become 100 record. 100 record size. Oh. Okay, so 64 minus 100. So this one can... Ay, sorry pakibago to. Nakalimutan ko siyang gawin. Okay, so my customer record is 100 bytes. Composed of this customer ID, last name, 20. Okay, verify ko lang ulit kung 100 to lahat 5 plus 20 plus 20 plus 3 plus 8 plus 8 plus 36, 100. Okay, so my customer file rec is 100. My transaction file gawin ko lang din siyang 100 bytes. Although filler na lang yung iba. Ano ba ito? Hindi, palitin natin yung ating transaction. This is only 5. Mali pala yung compute ko kanina 8 to, di ba? 5 plus 8 plus 4 plus 20, 37. Gawin ko lang siyang 15 minus 50, 13. I-resend ko dito So, kino-correct ko lang dito. So, 50 bytes ang ating per record ng transaction. Why is need to do this? Kasi para mas maintindihan nyo kung paano mag-create ng record. Kasi tayo rin mismo minsan na mag-analyze kung ano yung mga kailangan nating ano yung mga fields na meron tayo sa isang record. Okay? For example, this is my record, right? This record is 100 bytes. Okay? Pag check natin, ano yung composition ng 100 characters na to? Customer ID, 5, last name, 20, first name, 20, age is 3, numeric. Then I have a customer limit amount and then customer balance. Why I have a filler of 36? This is to, fill up the 100 bytes. Okay? May tanong? Na naman. So, ganyan tayo maggawa ng file. So, importante sa atin kung gaano kalaki ang isang record at ano yung mga size, picture clause ng mga fields na meron sa isang record. Okay? Para pag nag-define tayo ng file is, for example, ito sa gagawin natin, kailangan natin yon. Okay? So sa ating pag-create, say for example, we wanted to create a customer file. Ang sabi rito, go to tool, and then catalog, and then allocate data set. Okay, so we go to the tool, we go to the catalog, and then allocate data set. Okay, what should be the data set name? Okay, we wanted to name it as customer. For this, for this mainframe express. I'll check if there's a limit. Eight bytes. Okay. So we make it like cost file na lang para mas madali. Okay, cost file. Now you have to put here as SPS for your org record format is FB. Now this one is the record length. Kaya importante sa atin yan. Ang record length ng customer file natin is 100. Clear? Okay. Nasaan na yun? Okay, when you allocate it, then nasaan yung aking file? Catalog. Okay, this one. Dito na yung aking file. Dito na makikita yung customer file ko na merong na-created na yan. Okay? For me to open the file, double-click. Yes. Okay, so tuloy lang natin yung kanyang one thing about this, okay, kailangan natin i-declare yung where is that? Key. Okay, this file that we are creating is an index file key. So, kailangan natin ng key. Which is yung ating first 5 bytes. Ito. The customer ID will be our key field. Oh, someone is calling me. Wait lang. Sorry. Oh, di ko pala clinic ang yes. Sorry. Double click. Yes. 100. Create. Yes. Okay, this is now your file. This is your customer file. Okay. So, looking at your data layout. Okay. For example, this is my, I have to follow this column, this data layout. Okay, so from here, if I want to write record, insert record, add file to the project, insert record. Okay. So magiging mano-mano muna pag-add natin. For example, this is 00001 based on our, masa na yun? Gawin ko na lang maliit ito para nakikita ko pareho. Nandiyan pa kayo?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'm just teaching you how to create your input files, okay? First, we need to have a master file following this format, okay? So, mano-mano tayo magka-create ng record dito. 001, then your customer name is 20 bytes, correct? So, yes. For example, 20 bytes to, right? Gawa na lang muna tayo ng pattern na 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's for my last name, correct? Copy. So that is my last name. Next is my first name. 20 bytes then. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's my first name. Age is numeric. We put it as 099. And then my amount customer is S99V99. Correct. So, ang count nito is 8 bytes. Okay. So, gawin natin na positive siya. Na, let's say for example, 100.55. So, paano ko siya i-write sa file? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ayan, 5 bytes. And then, gawin ko siyang 100. Kunin ko na lang. Okay. Kasi ano naman to, 20,000 at 20,150. Wala tayong point, tandaan niya na. So, yung last bytes natin ay decimal, 89. Ganyan yan. So, saan tayo nag-start? This is an age. Okay? Hindi pa na-highlight. So, my amount limit is 20,150.89 just to make sure na meron tayong decimal. Or wala naman, lagyan na natin 00. Okay? Signed variable, lagyan natin dito 0. Okay? Next is the customer balance. For example, from 20,150 pesos na limit, ang balance ko ay may natitira pa akong 10,000 pesos and 50 cents. Yan. The rest is spaces. Okay. So, wala kasi tayong tawag dito yung ginagamit ng mga file aid. Wala tayong gano'n. So, this is how we are going to create our data. Okay? So, kapag gusto nyong i-copy yun, I think this one is like repeat record lang to create a new record. Yan. So, lagyan nyo na lang. Baguhin nyo na lang siya. This is a second ID. Then, sa kanya palitan yung mga pangalan. So, at least meron na kayong idea kung gaano, paano nyo i-layout yung file nyo. Okay? So, just, palagyan na nga natin ng pangalan. No, override ata to. Yeah. First is my last name. Space. Then this is my first name. Correct? This is my age. I'm just maybe 31. Okay, I have how many? Yun lang. So, ganyan kayo gumawa ng record. Then, I have, lagyan natin yung mga pangalan nyo rito sa PIDA. Ian. Si Ian just, how old are you, Ian? Bata pa to si, ilang taon ka na yan?
20.
20 din? 28? Okay, 28 years old siya. So, meron siyang, for example, 50,000 yung kanyang limit. Wow. Then, may balance na lang siyang natitira. Marami na siyang nabili. So, meron na siyang 35,000 something. 99. Okay? So, ganyan gumawa ng data. Save ko lang. So, I have my customer file. Nasaan na ako? Customer file. Okay. Nasaan na yung ating ano? Once you created the file, you have the customer file, right? That's your master file. Yeah. This is how you're going to add or insert record, repeat record, para mas madali nyo siyang ma-check. Okay. So, meron na tayong file. Mukhang marami pa itong gagawin dito. Okay, basta yan na. Mag-create ka ng customer file. Then, next is transaction file. So, I close this one. So, I have a customer file. Then, next is, kailangan natin i-define pala yung ano, yung key. Hindi ko nakikita. Saan ba yun? Catalog. Ay, walang sinabi rito. Okay, let's create another file. Catalog, tools. Okay, sige. Customer file muna, no? Anyway, yung pag-create naman ng isa pang file, kaya nyo nang gawin, no? So, gagawin natin is babasahin natin yung file na to. I will go back to my program. This one, right? Remember, hello, Cobol. Dadagdagan natin siya ngayon ng work sa environment division. Okay. Program, sample program. Sana mahabol ko to. No, so we still have 15 minutes. So let us check how to incorporate the file in the program. Okay. Environment division, sabi ko, copy nyo lang yung nandito. Cannot edit. Insert. Yeah. So, lagyan na natin ngayon ang configuration section. Copy nyo lang yan. Source computer. IBM-3090. Check. Computer IBM-3090. Okay? So, lagyan natin siya ngayon ng input, output section with file control. Okay, this time, gamitin natin yung file. Hopefully this work. Select, anong lagay ko? Okay, PRG1, K010, okay, assign to PRG1, K010, Let's do this first. Wala muna tayong mga to. So just do this first na meron lang tayong babasahin file. And then for your data division, I have my file section, right? Now this time I have my FD. Ano yung parang pangalan ng file name ko sa taas? PRJK010. Record contains 100 characters, right? Since wala pa tayong copybook, let's create our own copybook, which is based on exercise. Okay. Here, dito nyo ilalagay yan. Kaya meron kayong PRJ1K010-RET. Diyan nyo itatype yan, isa-isa. Kapagod, di ba? Pick X5. Sure what your text customer last name. Pick X20. X first name. Pick X20. Okay, kahit mamaya nyo na i-align. Zero 5 num plus H. Pick 9. 05 T010 num cost limit. S9. Sorry, what's that? Pick S9. 5V99. Diyan pa ba kayo lahat? So, ito na ba yung kinode nyo kanina sa ano nyo? Amount. This is amount. You can use yung mga ganitong convention para mas madali nyo maintindihan kung amount yon, kung numeric yon, kung text yon. Okay? So, that's how you name your variables or fields. Pick S9 5V99. Why we need the filler? Kasi kailangan maging tama yung total ng ating record length. 36. Okay, so I have declared my file section. Tama ba yung aking pagde-declare ng file section? Yeah, I have my working storage. Okay, what I want to do. Okay, yan lang muna. I want to okay, ito na-test na natin to last time, right? Okay. Di mo na ako gagamit ng ibang paragraph. Just straightly put here in my main program the opening of files. Para makita nyo lang yung sample. Open input PRJK010. Tama ba? Yeah. Anong gagawin natin? I-read natin yung file. Okay. Read. This is sequential. Okay, anyway. PRJ1K010. Lagay tayo ng sample na WSPOF K010. Lagay tayo ng counter WS counter K010. Okay. We just need to write. We need to have another display muna tayo. O gusto niyo matutunan mag-create pa ng isa pang file. Write okay, stop muna ako dito kasi kailangan ko muna mag-create pa ng isa pang file. Save ko lang to ha. Balik ulit ako doon sa file. Catalog. Let's say out file. Tools. Ito yata yung kaning define cluster. Anyway, so ang ginagawa ko muna is sequential file. This is an out file, which is 100 din yung length niya. Namili sila ng line sequential. Okay, it's okay lang. Lagay na natin FB na lang din. Okay lang to. Okay, I have my out file, correct? My out file is 100. So, wala siyang laman. Pansin nyo. Wala siyang laman, right? So, ngayon, ang gagawin natin sa program natin is lalagyan natin siya ng laman from our master file. So, I just close. Hindi mo ka-close ko rito. Close. Pag kinos ko ba ito mo ka-close? File? Okay. So, going back to your program. So, kailangan pa natin ng isa pang file. PRG. One output as so this time output lang siya. Copy. Pwede naman na mag-copy. Sure. Ano mali ko rito? Yung mga period, right? Nakalimutan ko yung mga period. For example, outline, characters. So dito wala na muna akong lalagyan ng mga fields. I just put pick x100 for my record. Okay? So, oops, nakalimutan ko yung open input. Output, PRJ1 output. Why nilang output? Kasi gusto ko nga ilagay yung nabasa ko. Okay, move. I want to move the whole record. Ay magka. Ayaw. Dan ko na lang. PRJ1, K001, rec2. Move ko siya sa PRJ1, out1, rec. Right? And then write PRJ out1 dash. Ganyan lang. I read one and then saka natin pasukin ng ibang ano. Are you there? Alam niyo yung ginagawa ko? Okay, so this sample is I will be reading two files. I will be using two files, which is my input and my output. So basically, I want to output my I want to output all the records in my input file. Okay, so for this, I have to declare on the file control, and then this is my file section. Okay, and this is my input and this is my output. Okay, so I put some variables like end of file. So maglagay lang tayo dito. End of file na K010. This is a plug. So pick x1. Value n. Maglagay din ako ng counter ws. Counter ng K010 for my counts. I put it as numeric, so pick 92, value 0. Okay, why? I need to put it, ginamit ko siya, gagamitin ko siya rito. Because I want to display at the end of the program, wala akong stop run, no? Okay, wala pa akong total records right. Every time I write, I add one to WS counter out one. Control S. Okay, let's try to compile. Dami kong error, di ba? Okay, so tingnan natin yung mga definition ng errors. Okay. It's not declared. O di ba yung dineclare ko? WS counter PRJ1 K10 rec to PRJ out 1 rec. PRJ1 out. Record. Okay, minsan may bug din to na hindi WS counter 1. Am I right? WS counter out 1. Right, PRJ 1 out 1. Wrong area source. Saan yun? Okay, statement. Okay, so mapapansin nyo, no, pag mali yung area nyo, mag-flash naman dito yung error. Project out 1 is not declared. Project out 1. Mali ba ang aking dash rec? Project. PRG 1 out 1. Okay. Tama ba spelling ko? PRG 1 out 1. Right. Tama naman. Copy. Ayaw makopy kasi. Okay, let's try to do this. Control C. WS counter. Naman ba yan? Wrong spelling wrong. So ngayon nakita nyo na po paano mag-code Yan. So wala na tayong error sa code natin. Save. What's that? Save. So na-compile ko na yung program. Let's see. to run the program. Okay, but this time we have to, okay, I'm not sure it is in the document, no? Add file to the project. Asan to? JCL, dataset, allocating of the dataset. We must allocate the out file. Once the needed dataset was created, go to the catalog, double click. Okay, we are done there. Insert the data. Okay. So, dito sa GCL nyo, i-declare nyo na rito yung file nyo. Okay, the program is now ready to work. First, we must compile and build out our source GCL. Okay. So, compile, then magra-run tayo ng isang GCL. To check the input, go to output catalog. Check the output. I am not sure kung kulang yung document. Most likely, kulang ang document kasi I think we need to, it's okay kasi hindi naman pala siya online. Okay, so meron na tayong file which is out file at saka cost file. Correct? Okay. So, out file and cost file pala ang gagamitin natin. I am sorry about that. Okay, where's my JCL? Edit. Okay, this time, lalagay ko yung file natin based sa ating sample JCL to run the file. You need to input the file, okay? The DD, di-discuss ko dapat sa inyo to. Anyway, so just go here and then input your file. So, since ang gagamitin natin, gumamit kasi ako ng PRJ1K010, that will be my dataset cost file. Okay. So, tingnan nyo pa paano nyo i-reference dito sa JCL nyo yung mga dineclare nyo doong file name. Okay? PRJF, PRJ1, out1, DDSN. This is my out file. Tama ba yung spelling ko? Share. Cost file, out file, correct ba yun? Check. Let's check. You have your catalog, out file, and then cost file. Okay. In your JCL, this is my hello JCL, right? I save. So I am using a customer file for my PRJK010, and my out file will be my PRJ out1. Okay? Kasi yun yung ginamit ko sa program ko. Kasi yun yung program ko. The two here to assign, select file name to your implementer name. Ito, yung sinasabi na to, is ito yung nasa JCL ko. Ito. PRJK010. Okay? So, let's just compile this GCL. Compile, no error. Okay, kung sakali man na gusto na nating i-debug yung program, okay. So, i-run natin yung program, correct? Hello? So, maglagay tayo dito ng debug in your main. I think to put breakpoint is debug settings. Sorry. Set breakpoint. Right-click nyo lang yung ang tawag dito, yung program nyo to set the breakpoint if you want to debug your program. Okay. So, yung hello natin na JCL, i-run na natin to. Run. Tingnan natin kung papasok tayo sa breakpoint natin. Okay. JCL hello. Correct. Okay. Okay. So, dahil nag-set ako ng breakpoint, makikita ninyo dito na madidebug natin yung program natin. Okay? For you to step through to the line, I think is, wait lang, test. F9. Yeah, this one. you have the F11 to step, okay? Para ma-debug nyo per line yung program nyo, okay? Kung gumagana ba siya or kung nag-i-error ba yung statement ninyo, okay? Andiyan pa ba kayo? Okay, F11. Okay, pansinin nyo, nag-move ako to my next statement, right? So, ibig sabihin, na-execute niya na yung first statement, display hello world. Mamaya makikita natin yan sa log file. Ay, ang tawag dito? Sa logs. F11, okay. Next is display WS message. Kung i-hover nyo, yung mouse nyo, pansinin nyo, ang laman ng WS message natin is hello world 2 based on our initial declaration, right? So, ngayon ang sabi natin is, tama naman, hello world 2. Okay? I-mouse over nyo lang dun sa field para makita nyo yung value. So, i-execute nyo ba to? Sige, F11, yeah. So, next is, nag-move. Ang laman nito, pansinin nyo, hello world 2 pa rin, right? Since gagamit tayo ng move statement dito, papalitan niya malamang itong hello world 2 na to ng see you next time. Let's try. F11. So, tignan natin yung value ng WS message. See you next time. Correct? So, this is how your move statement will do. Okay? So, napalitan niya na yan. So, magdi-display na siya ngayon ng see you next time. Okay, F11. Now, this is the one that we discussed today, how to open a file. Naka-close naman yung file natin. So, open natin si K010. Ang status niya is close. Close. F11. Tingnan natin yung status niya. Wala. Open. Open. Kasi in-open na natin siya. Okay? So, ngayon, ano to? File. Correct? Although, we have two records in K010. Correct? Tingnan natin kung masasatisfy niya tong at end. F11. So, hindi niya to na-satisfy kasi hindi pa naman siya end of file. So, titignan natin tong add 1, 2. So, my counter is 0 initially kasi hindi ko pa na-execute tong statement na add 1. After I press F11, okay, tignan na natin yung laman ng counter. Becomes 1 because na-execute na tong add 1. Okay, again, this is from what we have learned about arithmetic verbs. Now, tignan natin tong move. I'm moving a record to a record. So, tignan natin yung laman ng outrec 1. Wala, di ba? Outrec K010. Ito yung laman ng file natin. Pansinin ninyo, ano yung meron dito? Una kong nabasa yung first record ko. Nakita nyo ba yung 001? That's my first ID in the file, correct? Correct. Ako rin sumasagot. Pwede mo kayo magsalita. Okay, so the sense of this is just to move the whole record, which is 100, to my out 1, which is empty, correct? I move it. Okay, let me see what is my out 1. So, na-move ko ba? Yes. Now, I'm doing a write. So, kanina, sabi ko nga sa inyo, itong file na to is empty, correct? So, tignan natin kung mag-i-error ba siya sa pag-write. Okay, so hopefully na-write siya, may makikita na sa output. So, now, add 1 to the counter. Nag-write kasi tayo ng isa. So, ang counter natin initially is 0. Then, mag-add tayo ng 1, F11. Okay. So, 1 na rin yan. Okay, then, pasinin nyo, yung counter kitten is the one that I read and then the counter out 1 is the one that I write. Okay, so 1, 1 sila. Na-display siya. So, F11 and F11. Hindi na ako nag-loop, correct? Kasi wala akong perform statement na maglo-loop. Still listening? So, i-add na lang natin yan mamaya kung gusto natin i-process yung isa pang record. Kasi nag-stop run na ako, F11. So, that's how you can debug your code. Okay? So, at least na-discuss ko na paano mag-debug ng code. Okay. But the thing about how you're going to compare the file from the VSAM is a different way. Okay? This is like a sequential file. Okay. So, nag-run na tayo ng program. Tignan na natin yung output sa catalog. O, sa spool muna. Oh, walang spool natin. Anyway. So, since ang file natin ay okay, this is output. Previously, it's empty. Oh, empty pa din. Hindi siya nag-write. One thing is we need to change this to line sequential. Okay. Yeah, di ba may program na tayo. Add project 1. Right. Nag-end na ba ako? Hindi pa. Huh? May error? Ba't may ganyan? Baka nung nag-compile ako, mali yung na-compile ko? Ito. Compile. Nagpat bang, naklik ko yung control, paste, save. Okay, mukhang may problema yung aking record. Okay, delete ko lang siya. I think I need to allocate file. Ano sequential? Okay, run ko lang uli. Compile, file, run. Hmm? Add ko ba sa project yung mga to? Add to project. Okay. This is the one. Okay, my writing is failure. I have to figure out. Yeah, I have to figure out the file first. I will get back to you, okay? So, pwede na kayo mag-type muna. Okay, so once I'll check the file first. Hello, are you still there? It's almost 5 o'clock na. Yeah. I will check the file for you. But basically, okay. So most likely my settings of the file, I have to check. At saka yung how to, wala na hindi na natin, na-stop na yung parang how to use mainframe dito sa ating pag-add lang ng file. Okay? So, babalikan ko kayo doon. Thank you guys. And for this week, maybe let's try to have some schedule. Kung maapektuhan yung Saturday nating class, I'll try to arrange kung pwede sa inyo ng week, over the week ng gabi, kung kaya lang. Kahit siguro 2 hours, para hindi rin tayo masyadong na-stress sa buong 4 hours. Okay? Kasi yung pagsiset-up dito, yun yung mga kailangan yung matutunan dito sa Mainframe Express eh. Most likely, I'm missing something na hindi ko siya na-set up yung file. Okay? Any question? Hello? Diyan pa ba kayo?
Ito pa
Wala na,
naman.
sir.
Okay, diyan pa naman. So,
Wala.
siguro ang gagawin nyo lang muna ngayon is just write the code, although just write the code and then compile. Yun munang gawin nyo. Kasi yung running itself is, I have to figure out what is to set up sa files. Okay? Okay, so i-prepare nyo lang yung coding nyo. Gawin nyo na yung dapat yung gawin para dito sa header and footer, right. So, pwede nyo munang gawin is i-try nyo lang muna siyang i-write sa spool. Okay? Hello? Na-try nyo na ba yung mag-write sa spool? Yung display lang muna? Okay, so yun isang way na pwede nyo gawin. About the file itself, I'll figure out. Okay. So, yun lang muna, guys. Alam kong drained na rin kayo today. So, I will get back to you how to run it with the file itself. Okay? So, start coding. So, ano muna kayo, analysis, then do some designs, and then you can start coding from the one that, from the sample program that you have. Then, running itself, madali na lang yon kasi importante may code kayo na i-run. Okay? Hello?
Yes.
Sige,
Oo.
sir.
Kasi yung file na
Salamat.
yon is just getting from a file. Pero pwede nyo siyang gawin mo ng hard-coded. Okay? So, you say, mag-read ka. I mean, of course, the reading is the file itself. So, for you to have the output, do something for you to have an output. I don't know. Pero, I'll try as much possible to get back to you how to use the files itself. Okay? Okay, so thank you sa lahat ng nag-join today. Thank you for your time.